does the 12-week flow? What is your thought process in these 12 weeks? Like, where do we start? How do we proceed forward? And what are these weekly meetings? What should we basically look out for? So that's a question that came up.
So at the start of the project, obviously each student is going to get assigned a particular suspension system that they're going to look at. I think there was 5 different areas. So there was the use of active roll control systems, the use of adaptive damping systems, multi-rate air spring systems, toe and camber adjustment, active toe and camber, and then finally active rear wheel steer. So at the very outset of the project, what they're going to need to do is they're going to go and understand firstly what those systems are, and then secondly what they actually do in terms of improving vehicle dynamic performance. So why would you use an adaptive damper? Why would you use an active roll control system? So that's going to be the first stage of the project, just to go and do that piece of research. Once that bit of research is done, what I would expect is that the students can then explain effectively in subjective terms how that would improve vehicle dynamic performance by using that system. Having done that, then they're going to go and research how they could quantify that performance using objective metrics. And that'll be part research, and then it'll be using potentially using something like IPG CarMaker to generate some vehicle data to prove that those metrics do demonstrate the subjective performance improvements that they expected to. So for things like that, I'm talking things like you could quantify your cornering performance using basic state cornering metrics. So what is your understeer gradient? What is your steering torque gain? Things like that can help to quantify what the controllability characteristics of the vehicle are like. So those are the sorts of things that they'll start to research in sort of the second and third week and put some scope around what metrics they're going to use. Having then done that, that's then when they're going to get into the detail of what this active system does. So they're going to research the ones that are available on the market, try to understand how they perform in terms of are they quite energy efficient or are they energy inefficient, and then they're going to start to model those systems. So create some quite simple plant models. I'm not expecting people to create fantastically detailed 1,000-parameter models, just some simple plant models that get the basic physics of the system represented, and a simple control model that goes with it. And again, I'm not expecting people to be control system engineers, just something that generates the correct control demands in response to the vehicle performance. So for an active roll control system, something that would generate a demand for increased roll stiffness as a result of a cornering event. Having done that, that's then when the students will do some simple analysis work within MATLAB skill-Lync to understand the performance of their system. Potentially might be looking at 2 or 3 different systems to try to understand which one is better than the others. So do some simulation work, analyse that, and then make a decision on which is the right system for them to use to achieve best vehicle dynamic performance at the minimum energy impact. That's then when we would look to integrate that model into IPG CarMaker so that you can run some full vehicle analysis, collect your objective metrics that you defined earlier, and then hopefully, if everything's gone well, prove that using that active suspension system has improved the vehicle dynamic performance as was expected initially at the start of the project. And I think that's pretty much.
Just to kind of get an understanding also, will all these individual projects kind of interact with each other at the end of the 12-week, or that's not a goal for this particular period?
So it's not a specific goal that you would bring all 5 systems together into one. However, obviously, if time allows and people want to start looking at that, then they're absolutely welcome to do so, and that would be actually a very interesting thing for people to do in terms of looking at, right, well, I've got one system, but actually how do I use multiple systems to further break that compromise between ride and handling. If you've only got an adaptive damper system, there's only so many things that you can do with that, but if you use it in conjunction with an active roll control system, it opens up a whole other set of things. But that's not an expected outcome yet. But obviously, as I say, if people do have the opportunity to start looking at that towards the end of the project, then that'd be fantastic.